Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter. Breaking news.
And we are continuing to follow the latest shooting in Minnesota happening tonight. And it's a situation where government officials are having late night news conferences. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, holding a news conference just a short time ago. Dominic Carter here with you, folks, 800-848-9222. Should the news conferences continue, we will bring them to you so you can hear exactly what's going on as protesters have swarmed around the ICE crime scene at this latest shooting. And here is what we know. The fact that Democrats are continuing this rhetoric, you are endangering the lives of these ICE officers. All you have to do is look at the video of how these protesters are stepping up their antics, and it happened tonight, and an ICE agent was forced to shoot someone to defend himself. And fortunately, in this case, the man was shot in the leg, but illegal. But what they did to this ICE agent happens to be despicable. So again, a migrant shot, an illegal shot just hours ago after viciously ambushing a federal agent with a snow shovel, and the suspect in the U.S. illegally crashed into a parked car while trying to flee from federal immigration officers before attacking one with a snow shovel. This is according to the Department of Homeland Services. And as you know, in the city of New York, these anti-ICE protests, some of these crowds recently have pulled in up to 2,000 people as the unrest continues since the shooting death of Renee Good. And so just some backdrop, and then we'll go through what happened here. These Minnesota ICE operations, as they continue, they have found 10 killers, violent child rapists. But politicians on the left want the agents out, and what they're doing is reckless and endangering these agents' lives. 800-848-9222. So this evening at 6:50 p.m. Minnesota time, and off the top of my head, I believe Minnesota is an hour behind us, I believe. But an illegal Venezuelan migrant was shot in the leg by a federal immigration agent in Minneapolis. This is just tonight, after he allegedly fled during a traffic stop and beat the ambushed officer with a snow shovel. This is according to the Department of Homeland Security. And so the suspect was apparently behind the wheel when he tried to get away from federal immigration officers. Again, this is about 6:50 p.m. local time in Minneapolis, but he crashed into a parked car. The migrant then tried to escape on foot, and violently assaulted the officer as the two wrestled on the ground. But the story gets worse. So while the man continues to struggle with the officer, and this part is disgusting, two other people involved themselves. Now, you would think that two other people would be helping the federal agent get this illegal under control. Just the opposite actually happened. So two people, according to federal authorities, emerged from a nearby apartment and allegedly joined in attacking the agent with a snow shovel and broom handles. So in this chaos that was going on, the migrant, the illegal, was able to wiggle out of the officer's hold and also allegedly started striking him. So now it's 3-on-1. 3 of them against the agent. And they started striking him apparently with a shovel or the broomstick. And again, protesters swarmed to the shooting scene shortly thereafter. The officer, of course, fearing for his life, fired, used his weapon, and the illegal was shot in the leg. And the officer and the injured suspect both treated at a nearby hospital. And the great news here is that the two attackers that came out of their apartment and joined in with the illegal and not the agent, they have been taken into custody as well. So the suspect was originally apprehended as an illegal immigrant who entered the U.S. in 2022. So a horrible situation occurring just hours ago. Folks, and I'm talking to those on the left, you are going to get one of these ICE officers, one of these federal agents killed with this rhetoric, because people are starting to feel emboldened to attack them. And to attack this agent 3-on-1 with a shovel and a broomstick. 2 people come out of their apartment to not help apprehending the illegal, but to beat the agent. 800-848-9222. So President Trump, and this is backtracking to, and we see all your calls. We're about to begin with them. President Trump the other day was in Battleground, Michigan, in Detroit, and he happened to talk about the Somali community. Now, this individual that was shot just a short time ago from Venezuela, but as it relates to the Somali community, in which that's where all attention is right now in Minnesota with ICE and federal officials, President Trump, while he was in Michigan, talked about these Somali fraudsters in Minnesota.
You know, they came from a place with nothing, and they come here and they drive around in Mercedes-Benz. You know, the Mercedes-Benz dealers do well in that area of Minnesota. Can you believe it? They have nothing. They get welfare payments, and they have Mercedes-Benzes. It angers me so much, but we're going to straighten out our country. This was done under Biden and Obama, very much under Obama. It all started under Obama. And we just can't. We've got a great country. We're not going to screw it up. But this was one of the great scams ever. They have the same thing, Somali in Maine. Who would think? I never saw that happening. But in Maine, it's really crooked as hell, too. But it's not just Somali. It is them, but it's not just. There are many other places, many other people. The whole country, if we stop this fraud, this massive fraud, we're going to have a balanced budget. That's how much money you're talking. We'll have a balanced budget without all the growth I'm talking about. And then you add the growth, we got one hell of a country.
President Trump, obviously, before this shooting occurred. So we're dealing with a situation where in the overnight hour, we're talking about breaking news yet again out of Minneapolis, where a federal agent was literally forced to use his weapon. He's wrestling with an illegal, they're wrestling with each other, and 2 people come out of their apartment. He's attacking the agent, according to DHS, with a shovel. 2 people come out of their apartment, not to help the agent, to help the illegal. This is warped. It's crazy what's going on in Minneapolis. And again, folks, if you're just joining us, this is a shooting that just occurred this evening. Let's go to your telephone calls. Let's begin with Alice, line 5, Long Island. Alice, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I've been listening to you for a long time. I'm just asking the question, when is Trump going to do something about what's happening to our ICE agents when he's so busy in Venezuela and Iran and worrying about those people?
Wait, you said and lying about those people?
No, he's not. No, taking care of those people. When is he going to do something about our ICE?
Wait, Alice, when you say taking care of those people, I don't know what you mean. Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to the ICE agents who are being attacked. When are we going to try and stop that the way we've gone in to help the people in Venezuela and Trump is concerned about Iran? I'm very concerned about what's happening here in our country.
Okay, well, an effective president has to be able to multitask. We can agree on that, right, Alice? Okay, so what else more do you want him to do? He's hired thousands of additional ICE officers that are going to be hitting the street. What else more do you want him to do? It's the local officials, Alice, and I'm so glad you asked this question because that means, with all due respect, you don't understand. It's the local officials that are tying the president's hand because the local police are not permitted to cooperate with ICE. So you have these ICE officers that are going out there. They're almost like sheep. They're being surrounded by protesters. So when you say, when is President Trump, what else more, Alice, do you think he can do here?
Well, he sent the National Guard in several places, several cities.
Right. Well, but that has to be done. You can't just, a president, this is not Hollywood, Alice. He can't just say, I'm sending in the National Guard.
I've heard you say that before.
Right. Right. But what I'm saying, Alice, he's hired, and thank you for the call, he's hired additional ICE officers, thousands of officers. He's pleaded, his administration has pleaded with government officials to turn down the rhetoric. They won't, particularly in Minnesota. These ICE officers, these federal officers are going out there without the backup of local law enforcement. That's not the president's fault at all. Let's go to Ed, line 3, Rockland County. Ed, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic, first-time caller.
Wonderful. What's on your mind, Ed?
Dominic, I told the call screener when he asked me about my call.
Ed, I'm 40 seconds from the break. I don't need to hear what you told the call screener. Get to the point.
I'm sorry. I do believe that the FBI should arrest the mayor of Minneapolis and be done with it.
Based on what? Based on what? What's the charge?
The charge is inciting a riot.
Well, I don't see. I mean, I wish he could be arrested. But there's no charge. Ed, you can't just say I'm going to go arrest the mayor. You better have the goods. I've got to take a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter. Breaking news.
And it is sad that here we are overnight and we're forced to talk about yet another shooting in Minneapolis, where unfortunately and tragically, these federal agents are forced to use their weapons to defend themselves. We have a situation where just a few hours, an agent with an illegal the illegal decides, after trying to escape with a car, decides to apparently attack the officer with a shovel. They're scuffling with each other on the ground, and out comes two people from their apartment complex. They don't help the federal agent. They help the illegal with shovels, and they too beat on the agent. The agent, fearing for his life, pulls out his revolver, and rightfully so, and this time was able to fire and strike the illegal in the leg. So this is yet another shooting. And this is not the fault of ICE. This is the fault of these far-left politicians inciting these fools out there in Minneapolis to believe that they can do what they want with the police. Dominic Carter here with you. We're taking your telephone calls. But you know what, folks, before I get to the next call, let's go back to the first shooting. Renee Good, right? This is from Fox News. And there was a question of whether or not the vehicle struck the officer. Well, here's definitive proof that it did.
Remember, I told you we were going to be watching Minneapolis, and we have some new information. Department of Homeland Security sources telling Fox News the ICE agent who was hit by Renee Nicole Good's car suffered internal bleeding in his torso. That is the same Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent who was seriously wounded last June when he was dragged by a car during attempted arrest. Yeah, a car rammed him and then dragged him. And by the way, there was street camera footage of some of that. The CBS local station, WCCO, covered that story last June extensively.
So these federal agents are like slaughtered lamb in this environment, with no backup from local police because of these despicable government officials that are far left. Eddie, line 5, Babylon. What's on your mind, Eddie?
Dominic, the first time I meet you, I'm giving you a big bottle of Pepto-Bismol. That's what I can tell you.
Well, thank you. I can use it sometimes, Eddie. Thank you.
And I'm thinking, shouldn't there be another agency to protect ICE from the neighborhood thugs that are attacking them while they're trying to do their job?
Now, Eddie, you listen to the program. You know that I say this is not Hollywood. So when you say another agency, what agency?
What could we bring about? The police can't protect them. The mayors don't want them.
No. The police should be the ones protecting them.
No,
the
they
police,
should be.
Right. But so then what's the answer? This is what I mean, Eddie, about not being Hollywood.
Well, okay. You have ICE, then you should have an ICE buffer. An ICE subdivision.
So who's the buffer?
A subdivision. An ICE subdivision that's hired.
So
people are hired exclusively to protect them so they can do their jobs exclusively.
Okay, well, that's not a bad idea. But, Eddie, we need the help here and now. They need the support here and now. Here and now.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's spreading. It's spreading, and it's just horrible. You know, I'm sad that here we are in the overnight hour, and we're talking about breaking news yet again out of, at this hour, breaking news out of Minnesota, that an agent, a federal agent, you would think that people coming to jump in, that you're there to help the agent. Not in Minnesota. Thank you for the call, Eddie. 2 people coming in to help the illegal beat the agent with shovels. They are in custody. The agent is okay. The illegal was shot in the leg. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter. Breaking news.
And we are continuing to follow at this hour what's happening out of Minneapolis. An ICE agent forced to use his weapon to defend himself again. This time, an illegal, apparently with a shovel, attacked the officer, used the vehicle to try and get away. And then the officer and the man are scuffling with each other on the ground, apparently. Two people come out of the apartment complex. One would think that they're coming out to assist the agent. Not in Minnesota. They're coming out to gang up on the agent. They, too, attack the agent, according to DHS, with shovels. So now it's 1 against 3. The agent, fearing for his life, pulls out his gun and hits the man in the leg. Just a short time ago, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, wrapped up a news conference. I'm going to come right back to that story in just a second. Just a quick note here. Matt Blaze, I'm trying to find out what's going on here. Kiefer Sutherland, big Hollywood actor, right? TV and so on. Apparently arrested and told Uber driver, pull over or I'll kill you. What's going on here?
You know, the only thing I can think of, and he's had prior issues.
That's right.
With DUI. And I don't know if he called an Uber and he was drunk. He was out to dinner with friends. And all we know is that he threatened an Uber driver. And allegedly, the Uber driver claims that he assaulted him, but they said they found no injuries on the Uber driver, which is why he was not booked on assault. So do we say, well, he has prior, so that means we don't know. We don't know what happened. I don't know what circumstance would you ever tell an Uber driver
to pull over.
Well, not just to pull over, but I'm going to kill you if you don't pull over.
Right, that's right.
You might need to pull over. Listen, if you're going to vomit, you don't want to vomit in the guy's car. So you say, hey, can you pull over? Okay. But pull over or I'm going to kill you?
And that's an allegation at this point.
Right. And we don't know. People say things all the time like, oh, I'm going to kill you. And you don't really mean it. Now, this guy, and maybe he was dead serious. They're saying that the Uber driver's English wasn't so good. They had to get a translator. So we don't know the context. We don't know if the Uber driver had a dash cam that caught all this on camera. But as of right now, it's not looking good for Kiefer Sutherland. But we don't really know the details. So you don't want to jump to assumptions.
But
I don't know the circumstances where you're going to tell somebody, if you don't pull over, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
And if you're drunk, you could be a mean drunk and really mean it. And maybe he did assault the driver. Maybe he pushed him. Maybe he kind of slapped them or something that it didn't show any marks on his face.
Or maybe the driver recognized him and ka-ching.
That's a possibility, too. Knows that he's a famous actor and thinks, oh, I'm going to say he hit me and I'll get some dollars. Even if he didn't hit me, he'll just want to pay me off to shut up.
And I'll get some dollars. Correct.
You never know.
Correct. To be continued. Thank you, Matt Blaze. Folks, we see your calls from around America. Let's go back to them. Let's see here. Let's go to John, Reno, Nevada. John, line 2, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I think Donald Trump has a great idea to try to make Greenland a state. Unfortunately, Greenland is not interested in being a state. We're chasing a woman that's not interested in us. We should sign exclusive rare earth development deals with them and be happy with that.
Okay, but wait, John, I want to go back to your analogy. You just said we're chasing a woman that's not interested in us. That happens all the time, and yet somehow, some way, the guy still gets the girl.
Occasionally it happens, but they seem dead set against it. I think we'll be lucky if we can exclude Russia and China from developing Greenland and get exclusive deals for us.
Let me just say this, John. If it comes down to Russia, China, or the U.S., I think we all agree we want the U.S. to have it. Now, your point is it's not for sale. It's not for ownership. I can only tell you this much. Whatever the president is stating publicly, we only know part of the story. I guarantee you there's 80% of this story that we have no idea in terms of the public, in terms of what's going on. John, thank you for the great call. Let's go to line 5, Ken in Queens. Ken, what's on your mind?
Good evening, Dominic. there's something wrong with this country when the mobs of people, these terrorist anarchists, this small minority of people in this country, citizens and others, attack and try to kill or injure permanently agents who are performing the task assigned by them by the Department of Justice, the United States government, under the law. That sends a very frightening signal to the people of this nation, especially the law-abiding majority of the
You are
country.
correct. You're correct, Ken.
And what happens is if they could do this to ICE agents, they could do this to any group. They could do it to FBI agents. They could do it to IRS agents. They could do it to anyone they want.
Indeed. And you know what, Ken? I'm going to give you the final say before we go to the next call. As a matter of fact, you're talking about what's scary. I'm going to focus on Riley Gaines, the former college swimmer, in terms of at the Supreme Court the other day, right, with her 3-month-old baby. This is horrible. She had to wrap her baby in a bulletproof blanket. And I know these items exist because during the 88 presidential campaign, I've told this story before, I'm traveling around the country with the Reverend Jesse Jackson and the secrets on his airplane, and the Secret Service had bulletproof shirts for him. Every day, the shirts that he wore were bulletproof. The Secret Service had a special raincoat. And I don't know if I should be saying this, but they had a special raincoat that as soon as we landed, and this is going back to 88, Reverend Jackson would put on this raincoat, which was bulletproof, that was provided to him by the government. And, it's a trip within itself to see when you're on the plane and we're about to land in a city and see the Secret Service and they start talking into their hands and you see the agents on the tarmac, because we would never go through an airport. What would literally happen is the plane would land, an entire detail. And, this is a great point, Ken. So we pull into a city, right? And I had never traveled so much in my life. We would often hit 4 states in one day. So we may start out in New York. So let's say we had to be we had to be headed out to the airport by 6 a.m. It would only take us minutes because they shut down traffic, right? But if we had to be at the airport at 6 a.m., that means the Secret Service bag call is at 3 a.m. So that means that all of us had to have our bags downstairs, and the local Secret Service, they bring in the dogs. And even though they know all of us, we're traveling every day, we're in the bars at night when we had time, you got to go through the bag check, and the dogs would sniff our bags. So 3 hours in advance, right? But here's the point I'm trying to make, Ken. And so you're right, it is scary. But every city that we went to, every presidential detail, every detail with a dignitary, Ken, what do they have when they're traveling through the streets in a city? What do they have? I'm asking you.
Bulletproof vehicles.
They have bulletproof vehicles, and they have a local police detail, correct?
That's right. Yes.
These ICE agents, they're like slaughtered sheep, especially in Minnesota. So we would land, and there would be at least 2 vehicles in the front, 2 vehicles in the back, and a motorcycle detail that shuts down the streets because Jesse Jackson at the time was a major presidential candidate. He's with us, and the motorcycles, they go up one at a time in advance, shutting down the streets. You had local police assistance. ICE does not have that now. You have the final word before I move on.
Basically, the problem is this, that the ICE agents are in the law. They have themselves, their weapons, their training, their ability, and presumably enough numbers to fend off attacks. And,
no, they don't. They don't have enough numbers. They don't.
Okay.
They don't.
So the point is here, these people who are apprehended for these acts against the ICE agents, they are actually violating a very potent, very valid federal law. And I want to know, are these people being prosecuted to the fullest extent of that law? Because when you violate, you go up against federal law, you're making a big, big mistake.
Agreed, Ken. Thank you for the wonderful call. I mentioned Riley Gaines. In a moment, I'm going to go to Barry, line 2, retired police lieutenant, NYPD, in just a moment. But Riley Gaines, the former college swimmer, at the Supreme Court steps during oral arguments on the transgender athletes in women's sports. And because of violent threats from the radical left against her life, she had to have a bulletproof blanket for her 3-month-old baby.
On the Supreme Court steps. And honestly, just as you said, there's a level of emotion to it, especially when you have to consider the fact you have a 3-month-old baby that you have to wrap in a bulletproof blanket because of the threats that were present there yesterday. Yeah. That is who we're fighting for. And all these Democrats and their insane policies and the things they say and the things they support, I think 130 congressional Democrats signed a brief supporting the boys in the case. They think they're giving the middle finger to President Trump. That's not who they're giving the middle finger to. They are giving the middle finger to my little baby girl, again, who you have to wrap in like a little bulletproof vest, because the other side, and again, talking about what we saw visibly on the Supreme Court steps, our rally, again, I call it the pro-woman, pro-reality, pro-science, pro-fairness, pro-truth, pro-safety side of the aisle. We weren't even 50 feet from those who were there to support the pro-trans agenda.
Let's go back to the telephone calls. Barry, line 2, Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Barry?
Hey, Dominic, how are you? The previous caller kind of stole a little of my thunder, but what I primarily wanted to say is that all the hand-wringing about what are we going to do to help ICE, and a different previous caller made some mention of an idea about we need some group or some organization to protect ICE. The organization that's supposed to protect ICE is ICE. They are law enforcement, right? They're armed, they're trained, and as long as...
Barry, wait a minute. Local, what you're saying goes opposite of history. Local police departments have not backed up ICE in the past?
I'm not saying they did or they didn't back up. Obviously, most likely, local police would cooperate with the federal authorities, but that's not what we have now. And let's just take New York, for example, right? When I was a lieutenant in NYPD, you're trained that you're not allowed to use your weapon to protect yourself against a vehicle if the person driving the vehicle is only using the vehicle as a weapon. That means that the first ICE officer that shot, what's her name, Renee Good, that means if he was an NYPD officer, he'd be going to jail. Well, maybe not going to jail, but he'd be getting suspended.
Barry, I respect that you're retired NYPD. What you're saying right now goes the exact opposite of what I've been told for years.
How so?
In terms of what I've always been told is that if you use a vehicle, and if the officer,
Dominic,
I'm trying to answer you. And I'm talking specifically about the NYPD because I can tell you're very much against ICE. I can tell that immediately.
No, absolutely not.
It's seeping out.
You are wrong about that.
Okay. Well, let me just finish. All right. Well, Barry, let me just finish.
Go ahead.
So if an officer fears for their life and the vehicle's coming towards them, the NYPD, you have the absolute right to use deadly force. Now, I don't know what you're talking about, Barry.
I'm retired, 20-something year NYPD lieutenant, and I'm telling you for a fact. I don't know who told you what. I was an academy instructor. I am telling you for a fact that the NYPD in the academy and in the patrol guide, they taught you that you are not allowed to use your gun to defend yourself if someone is trying to attack you, and the only thing they're using to attack you is the vehicle. So that shows
I respect the fact that you're on the job. I don't believe that. I'm just telling you straight up.
Well, Dominic, it's easy to look up. This is 2026.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? You can look it up. But beyond that, my major point, my bigger point is that at some point, law enforcement has to stop playing footsie. If you remember when Trump,
Barry, I'll give you the option of holding on. I've got to take a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter. Breaking news.
And again, things are so out of control with the talk that keeps coming from the left that in an overnight program, we have breaking news because another ICE officer was forced to use his weapon, shooting an illegal in the leg who apparently attacked him, tried to get away in a car, attacked him with the shovel. 2 people came out of their apartment. They didn't help the officer. They helped the suspect. I was just chatting with Barry in Brooklyn, line 2. Barry, it's got to be brief because I have a lot of calls and we only have a few minutes left in the show. So go ahead. You sound like you're very anti-ICE.
No, I'm absolutely not, man. And thanks for bringing me back. I'm just trying to make the point that for crime to go down or for people to respect law enforcement has to be able to do their job. As long as they're made to play footsie, then, this is going to happen. If you make people believe it's okay to attack law enforcement, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to attack law enforcement. And my final point is, remember when people were pulling statues down?
Yes.
And then Trump made it a federal offense to pull statues down?
Yes.
Guess what people stopped doing? They stopped statues down because they don't want to go to prison, right? And if you enforce the law and stop looking for people, somebody's got to help ICE. ICE can help ICE. They have guns, they have training, and they have federal authority.
I'm not feeling that, Barry, but I respect you. You say you're a retired NYPD lieutenant. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Jerry, line 5, Long Island. Jerry, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. Hey, I retired from the police department over 34 years on the job. I have 2 sons who are on the job now. And I just got infuriated by watching that press conference an hour ago from Minneapolis.
Right.
I don't know if you got to see the whole thing.
No, I didn't. I was busy getting ready. But go ahead. What did that clown say? I'm not gonna spend 2 minutes watching that clown after he used profanity the other day. All he does is kiss the ass of the Somalian community for votes. I would rather watch paint on the wall than listen to that clown. But what did he say?
I wish I did. I wouldn't. My blood pressure wouldn't be up so high right now. That police chief sat there like a beaten puppy.
Well, I don't blame the police chief because the police chiefs.
Got to watch this.
But no, the police chiefs, they have to go like a little seal. If they go against the wishes of the mayor, you're out of a job. It's that simple. Yeah. You better toe the line and dance the way the mayor tells you to dance. Okay, here in New York, let Jessica Tisch publicly go against Mamdani and see how long she's going to be on the job. But so what did this clown mayor say quickly, Jerry?
They left the whole part out about the 2 other subjects coming out.
Of course, that have been arrested.
It wasn't until one of the reporters asked the question, the police chief danced around and finally admitted that, there was a shovel, a snow shovel. There was a broom we saw on the scene. We heard reports of other people. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the job that I love so much.
And I want to thank you, man, for your sons being on the job. Thank you, Jerry, for the call. Let's go to Deirdre, line 2, New Jersey. Deirdre, what's on your mind?
Thanks for taking my call, Dominic. What I don't understand, why is nobody addressing how President Obama got rid of the illegals?
That's easy. Because Obama was the Prince Charming. He could do no wrong. Obama did it with a smile. If Trump says the sun is about to come up, you're going to have people protesting, saying it can't come up. It's racist for you to say that, Trump. That's easy, Deirdre. Obama was the Prince Charming. He was the President MTV. He could do no wrong.
But that's what I mean. Don't they remember their own president that they voted for as a Democrat? Used law enforcement. He used the border. I mean, they're just forgetting about this? Or these newcomers don't know what Obama did?
They know. It's selective amnesia. Again, it was Obama. MTV said we want a black president. So in walks Prince Charming, Obama, who could do no wrong on anything. Thank you for the great call. Let's go to line 4. Anthony in Pittsburgh. Anthony, I apologize. You only got 15 seconds. Go ahead, please.
That's okay. You said Democrat politicians with their rhetoric. Don't forget that Philadelphia sheriff and her anti-ICE stance.
No, Anthony, do me a favor. It's not her. You got to teach her how to read first. Please teach her how to read. And when you teach her how to read and be articulate, then maybe she can be a sheriff. Because that lady is an absolute embarrassment with a capital E. I am back at 3 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.